Weeks, we're going to dive in. Maybe you're interested in buying a home, but you're struggling to come up with a down payment. Maybe that's not you, or you know someone who is. Well, the USDA loan program allows you to purchase a home for zero down. USDA is the United States Department of Agriculture. This is a home loan that is 100% backed by the government. The USDA loan program is designed to help very low to moderate income families who don't have a lot of money with a down payment. Did you know that there is payment assistance called subsidy? That is also offered to eligible home buyers that qualify. Interest rates are lower if you go directly through the USDA for your financing. As of 2023, the interest rate is 4%. Now that's a lot lower than most conventional loan products. And did you know that there is a 33 to 38 year payback in terms of the loan term on a USDA direct loan? So why don't you come back next week as we talk more about how to qualify for a USDA loan. Well, hello, everybody. Hello. I am Roz Booker. I am going to be your moderator and presenter today. I am with Arbrook Realty. We are a full-service real estate company here in the North Texas area. Real estate is what we do, and we help people birth their dreams, as you can see behind me, birth their dreams and build legacies in real estate. Well, our topic today is going to be the complete guide to USDA loans, a complete guide to what it's all about. A lot of people haven't even heard of the USDA loans, and we're going to dive right in and share with you how you can buy an existing home or you can build a new home using the USDA loan program. Some of you have already probably gotten our webinar link. If you have that link and you would like to join us here in the studio, go ahead and subscribe to the webinar, and it will allow you to come into the studio, meaning the room with me. That way, if you have some personal questions, you can go ahead and ask those questions live with me so we can interact. Well, I am going to not delay, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Be just a second here. Hope everybody is having a wonderful day. Okay, awesome. There you are. Now, I am sure, I think I'm going to make me even smaller. There we go. Well, let us go ahead and get going. Can everybody see my screen okay from all the social platforms? Can you see my screen okay? All right. All righty, so let's get going. So in this course outline today, you are going to learn about what is a USDA loan, the types of USDA loans, the benefit of a USDA loan, USDA loans versus other loans, right? What it takes to be eligible To apply for a USDA loan, the loan process, what it's going to look like, and new construction. I think that is one of the surprises about a USDA loan is not only can you build a home, right? Not only can you build a home, but you can buy actually new construction. Is very exciting. First of all, let's get into what is a USDA loan. A USDA loan, this is a government type of loan. It's financing offered through the Department of Agriculture. And what it does is provide a way for low to moderate income families to own a property, right? So these loans are a little bit different from other types of loan because the government is backing them 100%. That means if you default on your loan, the government is telling the loan servicer, I've got you. So that is pretty big deal, because what that means is as a 100% backed loan, that means your down payment is zero. Now that's something to shout about. So there are a couple of types of USDA loans that you can take advantage of. Okay. For home buyers, you have a couple of options to compare with. You have, first of all, the single family housing direct home loan. That is where funds can directly be borrowed from USDA as an entity. Any one of their local offices, depending on where you are, will be able to facilitate and help you with this loan. Now, the great thing about it, as you can see, that it is USDA. This is not just a Texas loan. This is not just a Texas thing. So they're all over the US, these offices. Actually, USDA has a second type of loan. This is a single family housing guaranteed loan. This is whereby a loan has been provided by an approved lender. This lender has been versed and trained and understand all of the aspects of how the USDA loan works. For someone that needs a little bit more hand holding throughout the process, this may be a better route for you. So the benefits of a USDA loan. USDA loans offer several benefits. That's why they are a popular form of financing. Some of these benefits include that there is, again, no down payment, which makes it a very attractive option. Additionally, USDA loan offers typically a lower interest rate when you are applying directly through USDA. That would be the first loan that we talked about, the direct loan. Next, there is no PMI, also known as private mortgage insurance. Unlike other loan types, you do not have PMI because USDA is guaranteeing the loan 100%. So the guarantee fee, so even though you don't have PMI, USDA is covering their 100% guarantee by charging the borrower up to 1% of the loan amount, which can be financed into the loan. And this is called a guarantee fee. Again, no private mortgage insurance, but a guarantee fee of up to 1% could apply. The great thing about USDA loans is there is really no credit score requirement. They go off of credit history. So they are more flexible on the circumstances deriving around someone's credit score if it is a little bit lower than the requirement for normal loans. Now, you do have to have reasonable credit history and be able to demonstrate the ability to pay the loan back. One of the other things is that closing costs can be rolled into a USDA loan. Now, that is amazing. It can be rolled in. What that means is if the sales price of your home is below market and the seller will not pay your closing costs out of the net price, your real estate professional is able to negotiate what your closing cost would be anticipated, and that can be financed or rolled into the top of the loan as long as the home will appraise. If you go directly through USDA for your financing, one great perk or benefit is that you may also be eligible or qualify for mortgage subsidy. Now, subsidy is probably a big word, but it's also known as financial assistance. Some people may be aware of housing authority, right? Where you have an opportunity to be awarded a voucher for rental payments. Well, this acts very much like rental assistance, only its qualification for mortgage assistance as it applies to the USDA loan. Now, when you go directly through USDA, they will qualify you upfront to see if you are eligible for that type of subsidy. Now, here's the great thing about that. Sometimes you can get a third, a half, 3/4 of your mortgage payment paid, right? You would have to qualify every year for this benefit, but it will definitely ease some of the burden of having to pay a mortgage. Are you excited so far about the USDA loans? Now, this next slide merely just talks about a loan comparison using USDA as it compares to other types of loan programs. As you can see, if we're looking vertically, that means from top to bottom. Let's start from left to right with USDA loan, FHA loan, and conventional loans, comparing them side by side. When you look at the down payment requirement, USDA is 0%. That means 0% down payment is due from the buyer. FHA is a minimum of 3.5% or 3.5%. And conventional is anywhere from traditionally 3.5% up to 20%. Please note there are some financial institutions, credit unions, banks who service their own portfolio loans. And in this case, those loans could be 100% backed by that institution, which would mean that would be a zero down payment. For the sake of this presentation, understand that we are merely comparing USDA loans, FHA, and normal conventional loans. As you can see, the credit score requirements from left to right, starting with USDA. Remember, we said that for USDA, the credit score was really not required, but your credit history would be considered. If you have a 640 credit score, the mid score, there is a great possibility that you can automatically be approved for a USDA loan. Now, that's something to celebrate. Moving on to FHA requirements. Usually, FHA requires a credit score of a minimum of 500, some, 580. So that would be the minimum requirement for FHA. And on conventional, we're seeing that the credit score requirement is a minimum of 620. Let's look at the interest rate. Let's go to the next row. The interest rate on a direct USDA loan is fixed. And that particular loan, as of a few months ago, that particular loan offers an interest rate of 4%. Now, in today's market, this presentation was prepared about 45 days ago. However, the interest rates, we've received a couple of hikes since then. So traditionally, at that time, a FHA interest rate could have been about 6.25, and conventional about 6.25, maybe 6.5. I understand that interest rates have risen. So you are probably looking at somewhere of around 7% plus on any of these FHA or conventional interest rate programs. Now, when you're comparing 4% to 7.5%, that could mean the difference of a car note. That could mean the difference of you being priced out of the market. That could be the difference of you obtaining your dream home or continuing to make your landlord rich by continuing to rent. Now let's look at the loan term. That's the last row. The loan term for a USDA, if you're getting financed through one of the guaranteed lenders, is a 30-year loan with a fixed interest rate. If you're going directly through USDA for your financing, drum roll, because you want to get really excited about this. Your loan term could be 33 to 38 years. And I know you're like, wow, I may not even be that old, or I may not even be here by the time that time expires. What this means for you is the longer the loan term, the lower your payment. So what USDA recognizes is that you are definitely wanting probably to afford a lower monthly payment. And in order for them to do that, not only with their guaranteed 4% fixed interest rate, they're able to stretch your loan out for 33 to 38 years. And there is no prepayment penalty. Are you excited so far? Let's go to FHA loan terms. You have a 15 to 30 year, right? And then on conventional, you have 10, 15, 20, 30 year. Now consult with your mortgage professional. I believe there are some terms regarding these type of loans that may have been modified since this presentation. I'm in the real estate industry. I like to stay in my lane, but for the purpose of this PowerPoint and this webinar, we're going to stick to what we know about USDA. Okay, let's talk about eligibility criteria. So there are certain criteria you have to meet in order to qualify for a USDA loan, including your income. We said credit history, employment, your debt to income ratio, and the property that you are trying to purchase must be in an eligible area. Let's talk about income requirements. The borrowers have to have steady, dependable income. Okay. The income limits generally range from about 115% to 150% of the median household income for a specific area. Now, on the USDA's website, they make it really simple. And we'll talk more about how to qualify in just a moment, where you can find out what your maximum median household income can go up to in order to qualify. You must be able to demonstrate a reasonable ability to repay the loan. So they're going to take into account your income, your debts, and other expenses that you have to pay. All right. The credit requirement, again, we said they go on credit history. So there's really no credit score requirement. However, now you can't have every line of your credit just shot and bad. And let me tell you, some people do not pursue home ownership because they say, I have no credit. According to USDA and the respondents that we've been speaking to, it is better to have no credit that they can build for you than to have bad credit or derogatory lines of credit that needs to be fixed. If your mid score among all the bureaus is at least 640, you could be looking at an automatic approval for a USDA loan. That's something to get excited about. Now, they are really wanting to see, in terms of your employment, at least 2 years history. Now, self-employed borrowers, you may have a little bit different criteria. They may want to see up to 2 years of tax returns that have positive cash flow. Okay. Now, if you've recently changed your job, you still may be able to demonstrate stability of your employment history to be able to qualify. They may be able to take previous employment history and make it contiguous to tie in. I would just say, before you change jobs, speak with either the direct loan facilitators or your favorite selected guaranteed lender for more information and get guidance before you change jobs or become self-employed. Now, regarding the debt to income ratio, the borrowers must have a debt to income ratio, also known as DTI, of 41% or less. This means that your total monthly debts, including your new mortgage payment, cannot exceed 41% of your monthly income. Okay? There may be some exceptions for borrowers and compensating factors if you have a higher credit score and you have a lot of money saved in reserves. Now, here's the kicker. Can you buy a home anywhere and qualify for USDA? No. So one of the requirements is that the property has to be in an eligible rural area as designated by USDA. This property must be used as your primary residence. It cannot be an investment property. It cannot be a second home, and it must meet the minimum standards for safety, the property standards for sanitation, and livability. There is going to be a map or a matrix on the USDA website that is going to take you through the process, so to speak, to pre-screen or pre-qualify you based on your area, your income, your debts, and where the prospective property is located. Now, we will share that just because, and I'll use this for example, Gunter, Texas, may be highly considered a rural area. It is address specific because there could be some areas of Gunter that may or may not be considered rural. That's why it's very important for each address, not just for the city and not just per the county, that you assume that where you want to stay is going to be rural. Okay? Citizenship. You must be a U.S. citizen in order to purchase a home under the USDA loan. A non-citizen national or a qualified alien would apply. Here's the process. Applying for a USDA home loan, it can seem a little daunting, y'all. It can seem a little overwhelming, and I don't want you to give up in your process. This is where a lot of people is like, oh my God, they want everything. They even wanted my grandmother's social. I'm just being a little sarcastic there, but there is a long process for applying for the USDA loan. What you need to do is start gathering those documents now, and we're going to talk about how you can prepare for a successful loan process. So again, like I said before, you're going to check your eligibility on the USDA's website. There's an eligibility tool, and we're going to share that website at the end here, okay, at the end of the presentation. So you're going to be able to check not only the properties requirement, but if your income, family size, your employment, debt to income ratio are all going to be applicable to put you in a position to buy. If you decide that you are going with a USDA approved lender, you want to check there on the site as well for your city, your county, and find a lender. Now at RozB Realty, one of the very great benefits that we have is that we've already built a network of professionals that understand how USDA loans work and everything you need to know about them. So if you do not have an approved USDA lender, you're very welcome to use our network. Just reach out to us via the contact information at the end of this webinar. Okay. If you're applying directly for a home loan through a USDA office, then you want to click the link there on the site that says USDA office. Now, this is the time, if you haven't even considered this loan program, to start gathering your documents to apply. Okay, you're going to have to provide documentation of your income, all of your assets, your debts, your employment history, etc. Okay, so this could include tax returns, your bank statements, pay stubs, your proof of employment, etc. So go ahead and start compiling those documents now. Believe me, it's a stress reliever. Okay. If you are applying directly with the USDA, after you've researched and narrowed down your area, maybe you've picked a few properties, right? You want to apply directly through that USDA office. Now, we can email you a link to the application, or we can direct you to your nearest USDA office. You can give them a call, make an appointment, and actually go in and sit down with them to have them go through the application process. Okay, it's that simple. Or remember that I said, if you're going through an approved USDA lender, you are able to reach out to us and we will provide you with a list of those lenders, and then that lender will take you through the process. A home buyer's education course will be required, and the USDA will send a list of all of the eligible home buyer education providers. It just can't be anyone. It actually even can't be our real estate office. There are certain HUD certified USDA home buyer education facilitators that you will need to choose from their list. Now, you will want to do this sooner than later because it will be one of the requirements in order for your loan to be approved. Okay, so before you actually start touring those beautiful, beautiful homes, although you have an area in mind, maybe you have a builder in mind in a master plan community, maybe you've actually set your heart on a specific home. But if you're going through a lender, you're going to want to have that pre-approval letter, also known as a commitment letter, from that lender in your hand before you go out and actually start looking, right? So the approval process is going to be layered, right? So if you're going through a lender, you're going to want to get that pre-approval letter from the lender, right? Because they're going to make sure that you followed all of the guidelines and the steps as required by USDA to be approved. If you're going directly through USDA for your financing, that process could take a little bit longer. So do not get frustrated. Do not give up in your process, okay? So before you put a contract on a home, before you execute a purchase agreement, you definitely want to have either your commitment or approval letter from your lender if you're going with a lender, or you want to have your certificate of eligibility from the USDA office, because it will give you all of the parameters about your approval, the loan amount. You want to know if there's going to be room for closing costs. If you're going directly through USDA, you will have been approved for the subsidy for eligible borrowers. So that's the very first step, okay? Awesome. We just talked about this. Now, your certificate of eligibility, if you're going directly through USDA, it is going to have an expiration date. So you want to move quickly. You want to move quickly because you will need to have found a home before that expiration date. And look, next is to find your dream home. Oh my God, stay within the budget of the parameters which you've been given either from the pre-approval letter or the certificate of eligibility from the USDA office. And then you look, if you haven't found a real estate professional that knows USDA, well, here we are. But you do want to find a credible professional that knows about USDA, that is a real estate professional, so that you can start your journey. And of course, after you've gone through your due diligence process, after you've executed a contract, had the home inspected, you're ready to close. Now, for the USDA process, we say give yourself some wiggle room. It could take up to 45 days from start to finish after you've been approved, right? It could take 45 days up to that time frame to be actually done and closed on your loan. So give yourself some wiggle room. And with that knowledge, you'll know how much time you will need to give your landlord in order to, give your notice to vacate. Here's the good part: new construction. With the USDA Guaranteed Loan Program, you are able to purchase a lot separately and start construction on a new home. This is so amazing and so exciting. Now, it is most probable that a lot of the USDA home loan borrowers will be first-time home buyers, right? So with that being said, you may be in a price range. I'll just say anywhere from maybe $275 up to $350, and those homes are becoming far and few, right? So being that rural areas typically are lower priced in terms of land, you may be able, I'm so excited for you. You may be able to purchase your lot and find you a builder, as I go to the next slide. Find you a builder that will build you a home, a duplex, right? A small unit. Yes. So you can choose your own builder and work with that builder that's been approved with USDA, right? And they must provide you with a 1-year home warranty on the construction of the home. So your loan with USDA will cover the cost of the lot and the cost of construction. And this will be with one interest rate, one fixed interest rate up to 30 years. Now imagine building a home from the ground up, going directly through USDA, 4% interest rate, 0 down payment. And by the time the home is built, we assume that there's going to be equity for you to roll in your closing costs. Now, minus your due diligence up front, you could potentially own a brand new home for less or at what you're paying in rent, but for 0 move-in. Are you excited yet? I tell you, this is a hidden secret. This brings us to the conclusion of our webinar, The Complete Guide to USDA Loans. Do you have any questions? If you would like to pose your questions, you can do so by contacting me at the information that is on the screen. And I will be happy to serve your real estate needs, get you going on your home buying journey using USDA. Remember, we never say we can't help you, but if it's not right now, we connect you with the right resources and the network so that you have a roadmap of what it's going to take for you to be a home owner. Thank you for joining us for this wonderful presentation, this webinar. You make it a great day, and God bless.